And we're live. We are getting things done today. Bobby Martins is here.
Woo!
What's
What
up,
is
brother?
going on, Derrick? Good to be here.
Happy Friday
Always
to
good
you.
to see you.
Yes, same here. This is, popular demand from our audiences. Hey, love the fact you're coming to San Diego real estate market. Let's dive into some communities a little bit more specifically. People want to know what's going on in their neighborhoods, want to know what the possibilities are in the neighborhoods that they want to be in. And what better neighborhood to start in than the one that I live in, which is Carmel Valley, and the one that you live in as well.
Yeah.
And start there and go, you know what, let's create the benchmark, Bobby, for how these segments are going to go from now until the future of the type of information we want to give, which is basically to educate about what's happening. And you've got some incredible stats. So we're going to do stats first, and then I think we go to opinions next, right? Should we start with the facts and then go to the stats?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, I'm going to make you the host so that you can share all that great stuff we just talked about here in the prep, and really take a look at what are the numbers showing us here. As far as we're going to look at homes sold, homes pending. There it is.
Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of start here. And obviously, with the COVID and everything that happened, everybody is in a tailspin and trying to figure out what they're going to do. But we really live in a world now without borders because, everyone can Zoom from, for their work and for schools and all these things. So, it's interesting to see what's about to happen. Is there going to be a huge shift? I mean, I already hear about cities like New York that is just having a mass exodus, and you can't give real estate away there. It's nothing like what it is here right now. So you wonder, though, could that happen in the future? I don't think so, because I think that there's enough people who want to be in Carmel Valley, and there's a lot of things going on in Carmel Valley that it's improving. With One Paseo coming in, I think that's a huge addition. If they could fix some of these roads, then now we're talking. I'm getting really pissed driving down Del Mar Heights Road sometimes, if you know what I mean. I scared the hell out of my wife yesterday. I ran over a pothole and was so pissed. I almost called the mayor right there. Oh man. Okay. I digress.
Aside from the potholes.
Yes. Let's get into the numbers. Let's get into the numbers. So, basically when COVID hit, a lot of people took their home off the market. March, April, May were not good months. So you should expect a tick up, and certainly things are ticking up. But if you notice here, this is active listings, and it's down 24% compared to last year. So, some would look at that and say, well, is that a bad thing? I say that's a really good thing for sellers, because that means less inventory. And, but what's really happening, though, is that they're selling quicker. So watch this, pending sales.
Let me ask you a question on that front, Bobby.
You bet.
So when it comes to selling, because right now everyone kind of knows, hey, right now is the time to sell. It's couldn't be a better situation to sell, less inventory, as you're alluding to here. But a lot of the stories we're hearing about that are in lower price points, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 range. In Carmel Valley, we're looking at a higher price point, for detached housing here, probably $1 million or so and up. Are you seeing the same kind of action and frenzy and activity on these higher priced homes in Carmel Valley?
You're not going to get the 25 offers like you would in the $600,000 and $700,000 price point. A lot of those stories out there right now. But you're definitely, if you're priced right, you should get multiple offers. If you're a unique property with, let's say, a pie-shaped lot, end of the cul-de-sac, view, really nice backyard, got the pool, you got all that stuff, then that's a huge premium, because there's just very few out there at all. And because of COVID and having to stay home more, everyone is very conscious of getting the right property. And that's one of our niches, is move up and move down buyers. So we love taking people from one property and sliding their equity into the next property, something that will fit their needs for the long term. And we're seeing a lot of that. A lot of people are downsizing. You got people moving out of the area as well. But let's face it, I mean, these prices are pretty high. However, the rates are so freaking low that you look at it and you say, well, my payment is nothing, and so since people are payment driven, that you're going to see price points keep going. And in my opinion, rates probably hold firm for a while. We may see a dip in rates down in the future, maybe a year from now, next year sometime. Once we kind of get through the election and the dust settles, we'll see what happens with things. But I don't want to get too far out there. But with the pending sales here, I mean, there's 82 pendings. And so that's up 17%. Sold listings up 9%, 89. Look at this big jump. Look at that. I mean, that's just a straight rocket ship, of an incline. And, that is 100% driven right there by interest rates, because rates were at 4.5 before COVID started. Now they're under 3 in many cases. That's going to make people get out there and shop for a home, because that means that prices went down 30%, in your payment. And so it really makes sense for a lot of people to get into homes that are going to fit their long-term needs right now. So
I can speak to
that's why it's busy. It's honestly the funnest time to be in real estate right now, because everybody knows that they should be doing something. It's not like I have to actually talk someone into buying a house right now. It's like everybody knows you should do it when rates are this low. And rents, I'm hearing, are even coming down a little bit as a result, because a lot of renters are saying, you know what, it's cheaper for me to buy a home. Why don't I just do that? And there's lots of different programs out there that, and VA is obviously crushing it, right now. And those are by far the best loans out there, and which makes me proud to help these guys out, because they've obviously paved the way for our economy to chug along like this. Without safety, you cannot have a good economy. And so these guys have kept us safe for so many years. It's great to see them being rewarded with these low rates. So it's a good time. It's a lot of fun right now.
It's true. That's true. And I'll speak specifically to that. In fact, I was pretty surprised, because, as you know, I specialize in the VA home loan benefit, really focused on that. But I have a jumbo client who's borrowing over $1 million, and through the bank today, fixed rate 3.35% for jumbo. And jumbo is not subsidized by the government. So we hear about the Fed is buying bonds and lowering, interest rates. That's the pure market right there. The pure real market is giving jumbo money away at 3.3. I mean, that is a great sign, especially for a Carmel Valley buyer, because if you're buying a place for $1 million, $1.1 million, $2 million, you're putting a couple $100,000 down or whatever it may be. You want to keep that payment commensurate with the expectation of scale, from the $600,000 or $700,000 house you're looking at from a conforming standpoint. And that's pretty darn close. So I was very excited to see that this morning. And what you're showing here is a clear pent up demand, which is a great sign. If we had to take a pause, if people had to take a step back during COVID and not buy houses out of safety concerns, it's good to see that they've gotten over that, and it seems like they have all come back, because we're filling in those holes from those months where we were at lower.
Yep, absolutely. And this is a shot of the median cost of a home in Carmel Valley, kind of give you an idea. And so, we had a weird month in April. There must have been a bunch of big sales that raised the median. So I would actually tell you to throw this out, because there was something weird going on there. But this is more in line. But right now we're at 1.2, which if you look at the rates, compared to what it was in 2006, I mean, this is not bad at all. From a payment perspective, so that's why we're seeing Carmel Valley really, uptick right now. There's obviously not enough inventory. So if you are a homeowner out there thinking about making a move, maybe to a different zip code, take this money and maybe invest it in somewhere else. A lot of people are investing into multifamilies. There's a lot of cool things that you can do. And, and keep in mind, if you're living in a home that's your primary residence, and you've had a large gain, if you're married, it's up to $500,000 for the tax write-off. As soon as you hit $500,000, you should be selling that house, because then you want to be building your taxable income to, for the next house, that 500,000 for the next one. So I always recommend, right when you get to about 500,000, it's time to move on to the next house. I mean, obviously, if you love the house, you stay there forever. But if you're not emotionally attached to it forever, it is strategically smart to be moving, often, so that way you're getting that equity and you're not paying taxes on it.
That's the thing, and it's a great option to have, and we can talk about that right now, because when you're talking about $500,000 of gain, capital gain, that you can essentially pay no tax on if you're married. Yeah. And so a lot of people who had longer term strategies are now in a short term scenario where they are looking at it and going, well, we can continue with our long term strategy, nothing wrong with that, or we can take this little gift we've been given, and which is a frenzied market where there's no inventory, and we could take a bunch of cash in what we call in the poker world, go south. Yeah. And pull it off the table and put it in a pocket. And if you go south with hundreds of thousands of dollars, Bobby, I'm seeing active duty military members going south with a couple $100,000 in cash, the kind of money that they never thought they'd see. And so there's really, it's an interesting thing to really take a look at. I don't think a lot of people realize who are homeowners what the opportunity is as a seller right now. So it's cool to go through this data, and what we'll do in a little bit, we'll actually look at the map. We can talk about some of the different corners and pockets of Carmel Valley and how it's positioned geographically for success. I mean, it's really set up on just a great piece of land that is going to work out for the long haul, because this was once North County. I don't know if people still call this North County or not.
It's to me, it's very central.
Super central.
It is right in the middle of San Diego to some extent. I mean, between us and UTC, I think is kind of that's the heart of San Diego, in my opinion.
I would agree.
But
we'll show it on the map in a second. Yeah. I want to get through the stats with you though, because this is just golden information.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was pretty much it that I wanted to show you on these. I mean, it's just, I would say there's definitely some opportunity. If rates stay low, which I believe they will, I think prices will still continue to rise, because it really, again, comes down to payment. People are seeing what their payment is. And the guy who lost out on a house, he's not going to lose out on the next one. So when you have all these multiple offer situations, you just, when the multiple offers run out, then we know that the market's slowing down. And so as of right now, that's not happening. And again, as long as homeowners are pricing it right, that's really the key right now. And many are doing it, are pricing it a little more aggressively, which is good. So I think, because of COVID, they don't want as many showings. So I think that's probably a smart thing. So Why don't you go ahead? I'm going to go ahead and give you I'll stop sharing.
Give me the reins back.
Yeah, right. You can have the reins back.
I really like doing this, and this is one of the things that's going to be really fun about this type of segment, is that we can really take a look at this thing from a totally different perspective than the way most people look at real estate. And I'm just going to show you here, so this outlined area right here, and I believe I have a drawing tool draw. Perfect. So, this is the outline that's been given, by Google for what Carmel Valley is. So if you just type in Carmel Valley, it basically gives you that. I used to live right here, right there. Actually, it looks like it's still showing that as my house. Google thinks that's where I used to live. But, and that was amazing. I'll tell you, I'm going to show you, Bobby, I just want to tell you what my favorite parts are of Carmel Valley, and I would like to get your opinion.
Okay.
I love this whole area right here. The Ridge Streets and the Overlook Park, which I don't know. I'll bet you 95% of the people watching this right now have never seen what this is right here.
Oh yeah, no, that little green belt is awesome. I lived on Kibbings right across from El Camino and that park for a couple of years, and we had the view of what that view is, and it is one of the nicest views in San Diego. So, you get to see, with the racetrack, and you can actually even hear the racetrack when they're having, kaboo and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's a cool little spot over there. So yeah, no, that's definitely one of my favorites. And, the schools over there are just unbelievable on that west end of Carmel Valley. That's why so many people have flocked to this area in general. I'll tell you my favorite, if I had to have a choice, would probably be Del Mar Mesa. So on the right corner down at the bottom there. Del Mar
Really?
Mesa,
Right here?
yeah, there's some big, beautiful homes, big lots. It's newer. It's almost like that Rancho Santa Fe feel with almost meeting like Las Vegas, because it's a little desert scaping. But it's when fully grown in like 5 to 10 years, I think that area is going to be really good looking. And so I like that area a lot. I live in just east of where your line is in Carmel Valley at Collins Ranch right now. Still 92130 zip. But I love this area. It's a great area to live in, and I work on High Bluff right there in the heart of Carmel Valley. And yep, exactly. Nice. Very good.
And so, yeah, and I'm over here off Carmel Canyon, really close to the highway, right in this area. So there's a couple things. First of all, just to keep it fair, I'm going to tell you about my least favorite part of Carmel Valley.
Oh boy.
And this is not, I'm not spitting on anyone or anything, but there's one area that I just don't quite understand. I believe this is it right here, Palacio Del Mar. It's a gated area, and it's got kind of a weird setup there for me. I looked at some homes over there, didn't love it. I just thought it was strange. It was a little weird to get in and out of. The houses were kind of strange for me, not very big yards. Part of the reason why I like this area up here, Bobby, in the Lower Ridge area, not just for the Overlook Park, but the type of home that was built there, I guess the era in which it was built, they're all 3-car garages, 2-story, open setup, a little bit more modern, but kind of, have a little, some of the old school feel too. And some, we have some houses in Carmel, most I would say have AC, not all do. So that's one thing you have to kind of look at. But, this is one area I'm not in love with this area, but it does well. People buy in there. They like it because there's golf course and a few amenities and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the golf course would get boring very quick. However, it's basically like condo living with detached houses. It's like that kind of mentality. You have to like having a lot of neighbors nearby. Some of the houses are pretty cool, the layouts of them, but there's like maybe 2 floor plans, in my opinion, that are top notch. But it is, I mean, it's for the right person. Like if you're a tennis player and you want to meet other people in the neighborhood and play tennis with, that's a great option for you. So I think it's a lifestyle type of thing. They've got fitness classes and yoga and all kinds of stuff. So it's really kind of that like resort apartment feel, but it's a detached house. So but the thing that sucks is the freeway noise is right there. I mean, you're right on the freeway. So most of the houses have, pretty bad freeway noise. So yeah, not my favorite.
That's not my favorite area. Like I said, I'm not talking trash or anything. Just for
no, you're talking trash. Actually, I might get some death threats after I'm like, hey, I was gonna give you that listing, Bobby, but you're talking crap about my neighborhood. Click. Thanks a lot, Derrick.
If you live there, you really need Bobby to sell your home because you need a pro.
We'll get you into Del Mar Mesa where it's really happening.
There you go. So Del Mar Mesa is your sleeper area. I'll tell you, mine is Torrey Hills, and really the whole Torrey View Estates and the Torrey Hills area. This over here, I think, is underrated. Newer construction, incredible views from here with some of these properties where you get just pure, straight up ocean views, and you have nothing obstructing, and nothing is ever going to be built here. I think that's a sleeper area.
And you can walk to Ruth Chris.
That's true. You can. That's
Mic drop. I mean, it's right there. That'd be.
Is it open still? I don't know.
No. Well, actually, probably to-go orders or might be. I mean, that you would think that they'd be open, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I like this area too, even though this was kind of, South Carmel Valley. I don't know if it was really necessarily looked down upon or anything like that, but it's newer construction. Pricing wise, it makes a lot of sense. You still have the 92130. You're still in Carmel Valley. You still have access to the high school and things like that. Really good.
You're closer to downtown. You got UTC right there. You got La Jolla Shores right there. You can drop into La Jolla Shores. You got, Torrey Pines Golf I mean, this is an amazing place to live right there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with
Okay, cool. And
you.
then the new area here, just for those who maybe aren't
Yes.
familiar, Pacific Highlands Ranch up here. And this whole area, Pacific Highlands Ranch, is really like brand spanking new.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good stuff that's going on over there, that's coming available over there. That's an area that's worth taking a look at because it is built as a very modern community.
Yeah, no, it's definitely modern and it's really set up for everyone to get together, which obviously right now they can't really do that. But there's lots of parks and outdoor space, recreation centers. We've got some skate parks in the area. My son's 14 now, so we're doing the whole like, oh, we're gonna, he's gonna go to the park for a while and hang out. It's like right down the street from our house, and so it's a really cool setup for kids. So that's why so many families are moving in. The schools are really good, walkable community, and having that, that little shopping center right there at Park Village there is amazing. So it's a nice little setup. It's good living for sure.
It really is, and you're close. Like just for like example, where I'm at here in this area, it's almost exactly 5 miles to get to the water.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a very, very short drive, or you could bike that, no
Yeah.
problem.
I love. Don't you love driving down that hill when you
right here.
when you get to the top of the crest there, and
Yeah.
then you're like you look over and then you see the water and you're like especially when you're going to like you're going to dinner for sunset. I was there last night. In fact, I went and had dinner with some friends and
We're at the plaza.
this at the plaza. My God, plaza was going nuts last night. I couldn't believe it. It was packed. I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. All outdoor space. So it felt normal to be out, but everyone's wearing masks and things like that. But hey, anything to be out and about and to see people, it was really cool. So yeah, if you haven't been there, go check it out.
The other thing too that we should probably mention, it looks like dirt and dust here on the old Google map, which is always a little bit behind. We can't give it. That's One Paseo.
One Paseo, yeah.
One Paseo, which is still in its infancy, but you have Tesla charger there. You have some of the most modern and newest shops there and restaurants. Really,
I feel bad for those guys.
Man, they just bad timing.
If they can pull off making it through this, they can make it through anything. Because I mean, how do you like? Their rent is so expensive. That whole shopping center is prime real estate. It took 10 years to get approved and get something there. It was a long time coming, and they built it in like 82 minutes. I don't know how. Like that was like the fastest build I've ever seen of a shopping center like that. And I'm like, man, they need to slow down. Like, but it turned out really, really nice. I'm actually pretty impressed by it. I enjoy going there. It's a nice place to grab lunch and really nice place for, to grab dinner and stuff. But, it's tough, obviously, right now. It's not, you feel bad if you go out.
Well, I mean, it's like, here's what's interesting to me. So if we look at that area, and I'm going to do a quick zoom out here just to kind of show, okay, that's the area we're just talking about. And when you look at, here's Oceanside, here's, Chula Vista, what's right in the middle.
Exactly.
Boom,
yeah.
Carmel Valley. So just to kind of, reiterate what we discussed earlier about the central location, right in the middle, of San Diego, next to some of the best beaches and views, and in my opinion, the best state park, Torrey Pines. But you also have what's been neat about One Paseo on that topic is across the street, Jimbo's went and just built this amazing upgraded facility for their grocery store over there, which is my favorite place to go to get fresh stuff.
Amazing.
So it's like across the street had to compete. So you have this new monstrosity coming in, this brand new construction across the street. All of a sudden they have to compete, and you see essentially, competition in the business world at its finest, where now they're redoing that whole side. So now you've got this battle for all of the Carmel Valley capital going on between these two places, and you've just got everything you could possibly want across the street.
The only problem though is this. it's going to be like $38 for a hamburger. Because I mean, they got to pay for this crap. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I mean, Jimbo's was fine before. I was very happy with it, you know. But I do like the new store.
It's nice.
I just can't wait until we can actually do the salad bar again. Is salad bar ever going to be an option again?
I don't know if it will. I don't know if it will.
Oh,
that could be gone. Buffets.
That like breaks my heart. You don't even
Soup Plantation. You know, those models I think are over. But that said, I will tell you this, Bobby. I did see the last time I was in Jimbo's, which was just a few days ago, they did have the salad bar open, but the way that it worked was you had to go to an employee who was standing there manning it, and you had to tell them what you wanted.
No way.
And they were trying to corral it for you. So not quite the same. I don't think that's going to fly.
Well, you know what the problem is with that? You can't sneak a bite while you're making your salad, because we all do that, right? I mean, right? I mean, don't. Am I the only one? Don't say I'm the only one. Come on.
I don't, but I also make quite concoctions there.
I mean, as soon as it's there in my hand, I'm like, oh crap! And I like just take the one bite, just one bite.
It's totally okay to do that, by the way. They'll never tell you not to.
Okay, all right.
The grocery store is always cool with that. They want you to try before you buy.
Speaking of that, I heard Costco's bringing back the samples. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
you got to sign a waiver first, but that's okay.
Is that all? Just you don't have to get a quick test.
Yeah. You lose all rights. Sign here.
So that's Carmel Valley. Any closing tips, Bobby, for buyers or sellers who might be either living in Carmel Valley looking to sell or looking to move into Carmel Valley right now?
Okay, so I got one huge tip that is the biggest pro tip I can give right now, because there's really been a shift in how real estate is bought. Okay, in the past, you'd wait until a listing goes active. And in some cases, you're trying to find off-market properties and try and get it sold before it hits the market. Well, recent changes have made it to where realtors are our hands are tied, and in a way that when we take a listing, we put it into our coming soon database for realtors, and that is being shared with our clients only. It is not going to Redfin. It's not going to Zillow. It's not going to even my own realtor website. So all of these sites are now obsolete. So how that's really changed for the average buyer is this. You have to track the coming soons, because by the time the agent hits active, I've already called him 4 times. My client has already driven by. I've already built a great relationship. In some cases, if there's enough time, a handwritten note has been delivered to the agent. And so we've put in the time. So by the time he hits active, we're already there first in line with an appointment, 9 a.m. first day, because that's the first time that you can actually show the property. So realtors can no longer pre-market a home online on Zillow and all these sites. That is now not okay. They want the Realtors Association wants the realtors to put it into this coming soon status for the realtors to share with our clients and within the realtor community. So what that really means in the nutshell is you have to be working with a realtor to get this data. Now, whether you use that agent or not to buy the property, that's really on you. However, over 90% of properties have 2 agents involved. I highly recommend having your own agent. You should interview 3 agents and pick the best one that really, that you feel good about, and it's gonna really negotiate you the best possible deal. Because really, at the end of the day, most realtors are the same, except when it comes to the knowledge and the negotiation skills. So you need somebody who really knows the contracts inside and out. It's not always the fun guy who is on Facebook all the time, who's a great marketer. Sometimes it's not that person. So you better make sure you do your homework. You can use sites like Zillow to look at their history of sales. So that's a great way to help pick an agent, is to look at their history. What have they sold How are they going to help you? So that's kind of the big tip right now. But again, the coming soon, I'm telling you, that is what you have to be tracking, because if you're not, by noon, they already have an offer from me. And so you're just finding out about this property because it just hit active. So that's my biggest advice to you.
Oh my goodness, that is enormous. So
we're relevant again, Derrick.
I mean, yes, huge. Congratulations to the associations of realtors here, whether it's state, national, whoever made that happen.
They put their big brains on, because I'll tell you, this whole time people have been really upset in the realtor community. I see on Facebook groups all over the place, pissed off because of this scenario. Because they're like, why can't I pre-market my home or my listing? Why can't I find my own buyer for the listing? And that's the problem. There's too much me in there. And they're not thinking about the homeowner who bought the property with hard-earned money. They deserve to walk away with every single dime that they should be getting. And so exposure, we all know in marketing 101, exposure means a higher sales price, right, Derrick? I mean, that's like as dumbed down as it gets. And so if only one agent knows about your property being for sale and they tell 10 clients, that's not exposure. That's like nothing. Okay. So it's all about the MLS. And so National Association of Realtors figured out how to do this very quietly. And I'm sure at some point, the big dogs are going to come yelling, and they're going to sue us, and they're going to say that's not fair. That should populate over to our website too. I'm sure that's coming, but for now, this is the way it is, and this is how it should be. 6 out of the last 7 buyer side transactions, we were tracking the coming soons, and so it was an unfair advantage. We've had an unfair advantage over these other agents. And Derrick, I've talked to so many agents, they're not talking about it. It's kind of done one of these to everybody, right over everybody's head.
I haven't heard anyone talking about it except for you. And it seems to me like it's
I think it's a great thing. Everybody needs to get out there and talk about it. I don't mind talking about it because I want agents talking about it to their clients too. Agents should educate people that this is the new way of doing it. You got to be getting, tracking the coming soons. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to be a little bit behind.
You're going to be too late. Yeah. I mean, and I've seen that happen a lot. I mean, I'm writing offers, or my clients are writing offers with their agents every day, every single day. And we're getting like a trickle of acceptances. And it just kind of doesn't, it's not adding up.
Not for my team. My team, it's like 91%, baby.
Being first is really important.
Yeah,
it really is, especially if there's a lot of offers. Yeah. So that's a huge piece of advice, Bobby. And it's great to know that people can take advantage of that you're already on top of that they can contact you and get that information if they're out there looking to buy. And of course, thank you so much for your time, brother, for setting this aside for us to show us the Carmel market inside of the numbers. We really appreciate your time. And hey, everybody out there, share this video with your friends. Let's help make the whole community smarter than everyone else about Carmel Valley real estate. Thanks a lot.
See you guys.
Take care.